Okay, friends, welcome back to the channel. We have here on the bench today a SEGA Dreamcast. Beautiful. I remember them coming out, and I had like one school friend who was really excited about them. Bit of a flop, dare I say, at least in Europe, but matters not. Let's see what we can do here. This is a customer device, and customer complaints will not read discs. And just in case you're wondering, these have the same problem that most CD-based consoles have. First and foremost, the PlayStation 2. Eventually, the laser will get weak. And I've offered to repair the laser for him. And he says, no, thank you. I would much rather have one of these installed. This is a GDEMU. So yeah, this is an SD card reader that replaces the optical disk drive. And he wants that in here. So let's do that real quick. So before we started even, we have to look at the console revision. There have been three major revisions of this console. The first edition, VA0, I think they call it. Only a couple of those were manufactured. The vast majority are the VA1, and then they have the VA2, which is a late model before they took them off the market. And this device is only compatible with the VA1. So it does not compatible with the VA0 and VA2, and online will tell you all about how it's not compatible, but it won't tell you why. And when you look at this thing here, it turns out this is the microcontroller, and this is like a RAM-ROM. These are 3.5 volt, 3.3 volt chips. And if I understand correctly, the disk drive here is on the early and the later revisions of this Dreamcast are 5 volt laser drives. They will probably tolerate 5 volts for a while, forever maybe even, or they might not tolerate them at all. They will just die silently. Just like a Raspberry Pi where you put 5 volts on the GPIO pins, it will quietly die. It will go out, and that will be that. So you need to have the right revision, and there's several ways for you to check whether or not the revision is. The most common way is to see whether or not you have a number 1 printed here. So this number 1 printed right there is an indication that this is a VA1 revision. So actually I happen to have another Dreamcast over here, and this is actually the Japanese version of the Dreamcast, and this has a completely different label. So I say it says NTSC-J, and it does not have a number 1 here, but this one here is also the VA1 revision. And the way you can find that out is by looking at another couple of components. The VA0 and VA2 have different fans, and you can barely see the black plastic here in there. That is an indication that you have a VA1 too. And there's another way to confirm, but for that we have to open it up. So that's what we're going to do right now. And here's the open device. So the way you can tell if it's a VA1 revision, remember the compatible revision, and it needs to be compatible because these are 3.3 volt chips. You can see that this guy here is can barely see it's stamped into the aluminum here of the disk drive. It says 3.3. So that'll be fine, which means this here, the electronics of this disk drive run on 3.3 volts. So yeah, this here is a drop-in replacement. So all we got to do now is take out the old disk drive, like so. 3 screws holding it in place. 1, 2, and back here. Ooh. And then it should come right out. It's connected with a connector that lives somewhere over here. Here we go. And out it is. Cool. Well, I really want to fix this drive too, because most of these drives, they have like a little potentiometer that sits right here behind the laser. Want to see if I can adjust the potentiometer and just get this drive working for him again. Oh, while we're here, look at that. We got ourselves CMOS battery, don't we? Yeah, it's dead. Completely dead. And if I'm not mistaken, then this is a rechargeable battery. Yup, it says very small, 3 volts rechargeable. But I think if we can retrieve this and instead install one of these things here, coin cell battery holder, because this thing will live somewhere over here. We got all this extra room. We can install one of these so that it's going to be easier for him to replace the battery when it eventually dies again. So that being said, let's get this thing out real quick.
A few microseconds later.
And here we are. So friends, installed this CR2032 battery holder. Since these are not rechargeable, we got to install a diode in series to make sure this isn't getting charged. So now you see what I mean, right? There's plenty of room here now that we get rid of the CD drive, and the GDEMU will just live here. That's just like that. Oops. Here we go. And that's all that there is to the installation. The point here is, though, now we can route this somewhere and put this so they can easily remove and replace the battery. But one little thing, and this will perfectly work, right? This will work forever. Not a problem. Couple of things we want to do, though. Since it's a good friend of mine, he gets the deluxe treatment. Some community forums will recommend putting like a piece of styrofoam or maybe some paper right over here. And the reason for that is because this little fan here drags the air mostly over the power supply and the main board that has like a big heatsink over here. So you want the air to come this way and not somehow here this way. So to prevent the console from overheating, install like a piece of paper or styrofoam, that's plenty. Or you can 3D print one of these things. Thingiverse, I found this. Has a little SD card holder for your SD cards and will pop into your CD drive space just like that. And then the GDEMU will pop on there just like this. Nice. And now this will help shroud the air around to where the heat really is generated up here and underneath here, the heat sink. Good. And that's all there is to it, friends. The only one thing that I still recommend it is simply this. Recall how we just removed this thing, right? 3.3 volt VA2 laser. 3.3 volts is for the electronics of this board, of this drive. It's the motor, of course, runs on 12 volts. So the 12-volt rail, now that we removed this, is not used by anything else on this board, I don't think. Maybe the fan, but I think it's a 5-volt fan, I would bet. What could happen now in some models, in some revisions of the power supply, the 12-volt rail will hike up a little bit to like closer to 14 volts. Now, the unit will survive, and this is not a problem. You can just leave it like that. Or you can dissipate it a little bit of the extra power, pull down that help the power supply regulate itself a little bit. And the way you do that is by simply installing like a couple of like a 300 or so ohm resistor here on the 12-volt rail. Now the problem is when you use one of these simple quarter-watt resistors here, like these guys, they only dissipate a quarter of a watt, and they might themselves get pretty hot. So one way to do this is to have just 3 1 kilo ohm resistors like this. Just twist up the ends, add a little bit of solder, and then just shove them here between 12 volts. Just installed right over here, and now we should be able to measure 330 kilo ohms ish, roughly between them. Here we are, 3.33 ish kilo ohms. Nice, that'll do just fine. And that's all there is to it, friends. Now let's go test it. All right, let's try this. 1, 2, 3. Nothing blew up. The controller came back to life, but this controller has an issue. This is like my extra dingy spare one, and it has a loose plug connector. All right, let's set some time. Maybe, what is today, 2026? Let's try that. All right, and now when we click here, it should boot again, this time into the menu of the GDEMU. And here